Welcome to episode 16 of the Mental Dieting Podcast. Today you're with me, this guy. Why am I talking to you today? Because you cannot be happy all the time. That is the name of this episode. Why you cannot be happy all the time. A lot of people actually just posted a reel on Instagram about this. If you're not following me, go follow me at Ahren Lynch-potter, AHRENLYNCHPOTTER. And I just posted a reel about this is why can't you be happy all the time? A lot of people are like, oh, I just want to be happy all the time. I just want to be happy. Most people's goal in life, when you ask them, is like, I just want to be happy. And that's like saying I want it to be sunny all the time. If it was sunny all the time, life as we know it would end. Like there'd be no rain, therefore the trees don't grow, therefore the oxygen isn't produced, therefore all life on Earth ends. That is a very extreme metaphor, but you cannot appreciate the sunshine until it's cloudy for a few days or it rains a lot. Then you appreciate the sunshine. It's the same thing with happiness. It's the same thing with your health. It's the same thing with anything in life. It's about all of it. You can't appreciate something until you feel the opposite of that thing. You cannot know the heights of joy until you know the depths of despair. It's one of my favorite quotes. A lot of people don't want to feel those other emotions that we have. But I heard recently on a podcast that I really resonated with. It said, like, what's the point of this life? Like, what is the meaning of life? And this person was like, to feel everything it means to be a human, to feel all the emotions. For on one end, you've got complete and utter bliss and joy. On the other end, you've got like despair, grief, deep sorrow. And our job on this time that we're on this earth is to feel all of those emotions. And if you find yourself that you're blocked off to any emotions, then you probably need to start working on that. So if you feel like I'm never sad, or if I'm never angry, speaking from personal experience, I would not let myself feel those emotions. I used to think for a long time that being angry meant that I was weak, because I've only ever seen weak character men get angry because that's the only emotion they could express. They, on the other hand, thought slightly different than me, where they thought that anything outside of expressing anger was weakness. And I came from the other perspective that when you express anger, it means you have no control of your emotions and you're weak. And that's the reason why you can't be happy all the time, is because it's not sunny every day. Things change, things come and go. Everything is temporary. Nothing is forever. And as soon as you understand that, you can be like, you know what? I don't need to be happy all the time. Because if you were happy all the time, you wouldn't know what happiness is. It would just be your normal life. Everything would just be the same all the time. So I really wanted to kind of start the show off like that. Why you cannot be happy all the time. Can you be grateful all the time? Maybe. But there's saying that you're grateful. Everybody should be grateful. Everybody's like, well, I'm grateful that I got food in the fridge. I got shelter over my house, shelter over my house. I've got shelter, a roof over my head. That's what I was trying to say. And you've got friendships or whatever you have, or whatever it may be, but there's actually feeling the emotion. You can say the words, but if it's not matched with a feeling, it's not the same thing. I don't think you can feel anything all the time. A lot of people are chasing feelings. A lot of people say they want to be happy or they want to have joy in their life. It's just like, that's good, but you can't have that all the time. And to go after that as a goal in life will just honestly bring the opposite. It'll bring frustration, it'll bring despair, it'll bring sorrow, because it's not a realistic goal. A realistic goal would be like, you know what? I want to go after whatever it is I want to go after. And I am going to feel all the emotions. And I'm going to sit with grief when a parent dies, or I'm going to sit with joy when my son or my daughter is born. And I'm going to feel everything that life can give me, everything that life offers. I'm going to feel it all. Because if you cut yourself off from certain emotions, then they just build up. They build up. And if you don't deal with them, they can come out in really, really unhealthy ways. And it's usually the negative emotions. Although some people don't let themselves feel joy or happiness. I've met people like that. Because they don't think they deserve it. It's an identity thing, like in my last episode. Their identity is that they don't think that they deserve the blessings that are coming into their life. So they end up sabotaging themselves. But a lot of people, it's the negative things. Like they don't want to feel certain emotions. They want to feel anger. They want to feel sadness. They want to feel sorrow or grief. So they kind of stuff it down. Especially men. A lot of men do that. Women too, obviously, but I'm a man. I'm speaking from a male perspective. So that's where I'm coming from. And I've seen guys do that. I've seen people do that. I've seen women do it too. And just, it doesn't matter who you are, man or woman or anything in between. It doesn't matter if you stuff down your emotions, then it's going to come out in really, really unhealthy ways. It'll come out in your kids. It'll come out in your relationships. It'll come out at work. So I think a real wholesome human being is feeling all of it. And if you can feel all of it and let these things pass by like a river, it's like your emotions are kind of a river. It's like, I think I'm going to butcher the quote, but for some reason this comes to my mind. It's just like, no man ever walks into the same river because it's not the same river and it's not the same man. I think it's something like that. And I remember reading that, and it really reminded me of like, well, you're constantly changing. Things are not forever. Things are very temporary. Think about that body of river when you first walk in. You could come out and walk straight back in. That water is gone. It's changed. And you've also changed because time has passed by. So if you have an emotion that is with you all the time and you feel like that it's not going anywhere, it's like stagnant. It's like a stagnant pool or a stagnant puddle. It means it's not flowing. Life flows through you. Life is about flowing and feeling everything you can possibly feel. So if you have those stagnant emotions and you feel them all the time, then obviously you need to go talk to somebody. I'm yet to meet somebody who's just happy all the time, like genuinely happy all the time. I've met a few of them and I usually don't trust them. And I usually find out that it's fake. They won't allow themselves to feel sad because it's building up like a giant dam. It's like, I don't know how many of you guys have seen Lord of the Rings. It's my favorite movie, by the way. I'm going to talk about them a lot in my podcast because there's so much depth to them. The more you watch them and the older you get and the more you start realizing what life is like, the more you'll get out of it. But I see your emotions as like, they're called ents, but for people that are not as nerdy as me, it's those trees in the second movie that storm Isengard and basically break down that dam. And I imagine your emotions, if you suppress one, is like one of those dams. And you need to rip down the walls of the dam and let the river flow again. Because if you don't, eventually the dam will break. And it could break in a really unhealthy way. And it happens a lot. Like, happens a lot in like midlife crises. A woman or a man has been in a marriage for 20 years. Their kids move out of home and they're like, I'm fucking miserable. I'm not happy at all. What the fuck am I doing? It's because they didn't allow the emotions when they came up, the not having sex with their wife or not having this intimate like partnership with their husband anymore. They didn't allow those things. And then when those emotions come up, they didn't deal with them properly. They probably just stuffed them down. Well, the kids, I'll put everybody else first. I'm not going to put myself first. I'm not going to feel what I need to feel and process what I need to process. And I'll just deal with it later. And we live in a society that does that with a lot of things. It does it with their emotions. That's why we have a mental health crisis right now. That's why we have people are health crisis, being overweight. More people are overweight than ever. It's because we always think we can deal with it later. You can't deal with it later. You got to deal with it now. There is only now. Time is an illusion. But there is literally only now. That's gone. That's gone. Gone. Past. I can't do anything about it. I cannot go back to the past and do 4 instead of 3. I can't. It's gone. Just like the future has not arrived yet. If you think about the past, you get depressed. If you think about the future, you get anxious. That's why there's only now. So if you are feeling an emotion, feel it. Don't shove it away. There's a reason why you're feeling it. It's a teacher. It's going to teach you something. If you feel like shit about yourself, good. Maybe you should feel like shit about yourself because it's trying to be like, hey, you're not in alignment. Whatever it is that you're feeling shitty about, maybe it's not something that you should be doing, whether or not it's not working out, you're not looking after your body, whether or not it's being in a relationship that you shouldn't be in, whether or not it's being friends with a person that you shouldn't be friends with, whether or not it's being at a job. There's a reason why you have this abrasive feeling, this uncomfortable feeling that you're not dealing with. And the sooner you deal with it, the sooner you can get back to feeling happy. Because I think most people's default is positivity. Well, they want it to be positivity. Biologically, it's kind of, we're wired to be negative because we're wired to seek dwindling resources. We are wired to seek things that could hurt us. But in this world of comfort that we live in, most people, don't get me wrong, there's billions of people around the world that live horrible lives. But it's funny how you see a lot of these. I've seen documentaries of these kids kicking around, like literally soccer balls made of plastic bags, like garbage, and they're happy and they're fun and they're having a great time. So it just goes to show that you can feel all the different types of emotions no matter where you're at. So feel whatever it is, feel it. It's part of being a human being. You're not a robot, you're a human. Your emotional brain responds something like 80,000 times faster than your logical part of your brain. Your limbic brain will respond so much quicker than your logical brain. It's because we're not robots. As much as we like to think and analyze and do all these things, we are here to feel. Your body stores your emotions. If you've ever got tightness through your chest, through the front of your sternum, which is where I'm hitting right now, that is stored emotion. That's where anxiety is stored. And you can have tools like breath work and breathing, which can release that emotion. Robots don't do that. That's why you got to feel, because if you don't feel, you literally can have a really tight chest all the time and be like, why do I have such a tight chest all the time? I can't breathe properly. It's like, because you haven't felt what you need to feel. So going back to the title of this episode, that is why you cannot be happy all the time. The sooner you realize that, and the sooner reframe your perspective about what living life is about feeling all of it, feeling sad, feeling angry. And there's times you should be angry. Don't get me wrong. Don't shove that away. It's an important emotion. I'm still developing my relationship with anger, still working on it. There's times to be sad. There's times to grieve. You got to feel that. Don't shove it away. Don't shove that away, especially grief. If you're feeling grief about somebody who passed away, I think it's disrespectful to that person not to feel that grief. And it's disrespectful to yourself. Respect yourself by feeling all the emotions and don't store those things away so they can come up in unhealthy ways later. I'll repeat that again. Respect yourself and love yourself so much that you feel all the emotions that you need to feel so that you do not come out in unhealthy ways later and hurt the people that you love and care about the most. So anyway, love you guys. Hope this one was a good one for you. Like I said, I literally have the title. I have the title before I press record, then I press record and I just go. So hopefully something that I said helped one of you guys, helped reframe a perspective. Give me a follow on YouTube. Let's get my subscriber base up. It's pretty poor right now because I haven't really asked anybody to follow me. Don't know why. That's something I need to deal with. But follow me. It's Ahren Lynch-potter on YouTube. Go there, subscribe. Let's get this message out to more people. Follow me on Instagram, Ahren Lynch-potter. Subscribe to me on every platform you possibly can. And if you liked this show, please share it with somebody. Please share it with somebody because it helps the algorithms. It helps get these positive messages out to more people that maybe are hurting, that maybe need these kind of tools or these kind of reframings of perspective in their life. So love you guys, wherever you are. Have a great day and talk to you soon.